the best running back in the game, the best linebacker in the game, the best defense in the game, the best rookie in the game, the most clutch team in the game, the most disruptive defense, the most explosive offense without having so many household names in the game, the most diabolical.
I'ma keep it a bean, stick to the script every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, Shellitronnn here, but you can call me Shells, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video, and won't bluff, we have a lot to get into today. That's why I just got cut off in my intro, because if I kept going on with that list, I would have been here all day, and I know y'all don't want to be here all day, but I might just keep you here all day because we have, we got a big one. This contest between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Panthers was a much better one than anyone could have expected. 27-34, and it all came down to the last drive, the last few plays, and the last few plays were all the same play because there were so many penalties, but a very, very clutch team won the game, and a team that wasn't very clutch at all did not. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Look, a lot of things happened in this game, but some very important things happened before the game. Today was the official induction of the 4 most recent real wave of inductees into the Carolina Panthers Hall of Honor. Wesley Walls, Jordan Gross, Smitty, and Goat Delhomme. Hey, these 4 guys put in a ton of work for the Panthers over the years. Let's get to the game here because there's a lot to get into. First off, we are 0-5 in coin tosses. The Jags defer, we get ball first, and we do a lot of really nice things here. Things that make you start to think, okay, Norv Turner and the offensive coaching staff is actually making adjustments and showing defenses different things. We saw Curtis Samuel brought into the offensive scheme early and often. We saw a lot of trick plays very early on, some end arounds, some pre-snap motions that got Curtis Samuel in the game. We saw Reggie Bonnafon in the 3rd play of the game. I said, hold up. Reggie Bonafon's in the game? 3rd play of the game? I said, hold up, we're actually going to start playing with more than just Christian McCaffrey. I thought we were going to see maybe some split carries from Christian McCaffrey, Reggie Bonnafon, and Jordan Scarlett. That did not happen until later in the game, and I'll get to that later. But we saw that early on. We did not really go back to it, but we had a really good first drive. Christian McCaffrey, what can you say about Christian McCaffrey that has not been said about the most delicioso dish in the world, the most beautiful painting in the world, the most luxurious cruise ship in the world? The man does his job, and he makes it look easy, and he makes it look good. Look, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not a defensive coordinator. I'm not a coach. I'm a guy who has a camera, but I'm going to give you some advice. If you're a defensive player in the NFL, I'm going to give you the best advice you're ever going to hear from anyone ever. If you catch Christian McCaffrey in the open field, just fall down. Pretend your ankle hurts, your knee got locked up or something. Just hit the stanky leg one time and just fall down, because you will be put on a highlight tape once Christian McCaffrey jukes you out your socks. It does not matter how good you are, how hard you try. Christian McCaffrey is inevitable. This man is the best running back in the game, and I will bet you right now, you have not heard Christian McCaffrey's name in the MVP consideration. It's only been 4 weeks, 5 weeks now. But you will start to hear Christian McCaffrey's name in the MVP conversation along with Patrick Mahomes, because this man is not only the best running back in the game, Christian McCaffrey is also one of the best players in the game, regardless of position. This man had 6 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown, but also 19 carries, 2 touchdowns, 176 yards. That's 9.3 yards per carry. The man had an 84-yard carry. Do you understand what that means? I don't even think you understand what that means. Christian McCaffrey is doing things that not very many running backs in the game right now can do. And one of the guys who's been close to what he's been doing production-wise, Leonard Fournette, he got his 100 yards on the ground, but for the most part, we had this man in the snuggie. He was in a box. This man could not move really until later on in the game. Leonard Fournette was stopped. He was stopped. Now, Gardner Minshew, Minshew Madness, Minshew Mania, Minshew, I don't know, the man with the booty shorts on and the mustache, I don't know who he is. I was told Gardner Minshew was good at his job. Now, I was told Gardner Minshew was one of the better. I assumed people weren't lying to me. People on sports media, talk shows and radio shows and podcasts and writing were all saying Gardner Minshew was doing something. I ain't see it. Now, sure, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception is a really good ratio, but he wasn't really doing too much. And against this, well, what can I say? The number 1 pass defense in the league. One of the best defenses overall in the league. I ain't see it. We got Brian Burns at one level. We got Luke Kuechly on the other level. We got James Bradbury at our third level. And look, Ross Cockrell had a really good week last week versus the Texans, but he was getting kind of cooked by DJ Chark. DJ Chark had the day of his career. It hurts to say it, but 8 receptions for 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's an average of 20.5 yards per reception. This man was putting in work. And it was early and often, and it was very, very productive for him today. And they still could not get the win. But even with Ross Cockrell's mistakes, which were both in coverage and in secure tackling and in getting off some blocks, that was more like later in the game when Leonard Fournette broke a huge run, like 48 yards, I believe it was, when we had them pinned inside their own 5. And that was set up, I'm working backwards here, that was set up by the Panthers going for it on 4th down, which I think a lot of fans had a problem with, but we're playing football here. We're playing football. This is a grown man's game. You want to put the game in the hands of a kicker when you don't have to. Look, as a coach, as a person who plays football, if your thought process is, I don't trust my offense to gain half of a yard here, and I don't trust my defense to get a stop with the other team inside their own 5, then your team's not good. You're telling me that you believe your team is not good, and even though we did not get that half yard, and even though we did not stop that team from getting out from under the shadow of their own end zone, first of all, the result of that drive was only a field goal and double, but it's really the thought that matters there. If you cannot trust your offense and your defense, that's been really good so far, then I don't know what to tell you. You got to trust your offense and your defense in those 2 situations. And even if it fails, you got to be okay with it because that was the right decision. You can't play scared. I'm cool with Ron Rivera and North Turner making that choice right there because if it would have worked, everyone who's complaining about it not working would have been calling them a genius. And I don't like that kind of thinking, that 2020 hindsight stuff. I believe in one thing and I believe in it and I support it whether it works or not. So that's how I feel about it. But other than that, man, throughout this whole game, we looked really, really good. Mario Addison with the strip sack. And then who do you know? The best rookie in the game right now, I think it's pretty much decided. The best rookie in the game is Brian Burns, Spider Burns. I might put the hand... I gotta wait on it. He got a very, very long scoop and score touchdown with that recovery. Brian Burns has proven himself to be easily one of the most slept on players in last year's draft, especially for an edge rusher. Every team could use an edge rusher, and Brian Burns is proving that he had huge value then, and he only has more value now. This man is a grown man, and he's only a rookie, and he's only going to keep playing better. Now, there was one play where he re-aggravated that wrist that he hurt last week in the Texans game. I thought he was going to be out for a long time. He came back in. Shaq Thompson got hurt as well. I think he was limping or something, but he came back in a little bit later as well. So they should be good. We probably won't see them practicing very much at all this week, but that's cool. They earned it. Get your rest. Overall, the team played really, really well against this Jaguars team that I think was actually favored here with the Minshew Madness, Minshew Mania, whatever you want to call it. Our defense stepped up, and they stepped up big time. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. Only 2 sacks, but 2 very important sacks. 10 passes defended and very, very good pressure because apart from those 2 sacks, there was only 1 other hit on the quarterback. But if you watch the games, you know the stats don't really align with that because there was a lot of pressure coming in. And speaking of pressure, I want to switch sides real quick because I had some very big questions about our O-line. And I got to say right now, Dennis Daly, our 6th round draft pick left tackle, who was 3rd in line because it was Darrell Williams first. Then it was our 2nd round left tackle pick, Greg Little. Dennis Daly put in work. You ain't hear his name called not one time in this game. Dennis Daly put in work against this Jaguars defense. And I gotta make sure I mention it because Dennis Daly and the whole O-line in general played very, very well. Now look, there were a few sacks in this game, 3 sacks, and there were 4 hits on the quarterback. But honestly, that was the result of maybe holding the ball a little bit too long. There was a few plays that were kind of strange. Some of the screens, some of the design rollouts had pressure coming in very quickly. But for the most part, we saw some very, very secure blocking both for the pass and the run game from our O-line. And I want to make sure that I mention it. The 1-2 punch we have there at running back is disgusting. I did not expect to see Reggie Bonnafon play as much or as well as he did. 5 carries for 80 yards. Come on, bro. 5 carries, 80 yards, a touchdown. His long was 59. This man is a rookie. No, he's not a rookie, but he was a guy who didn't even make the team last year. Had to prove himself in the preseason, and he pulled out a very great performance when he got the chance. Next man up. Let this man, Chris McCaffrey, get some rest, which I was surprised to see. And this man proved he was part of the team and deserved more reps. And I think that there's going to become a much bigger part of our identity as an offense because we might see Chris McCaffrey come out a little bit more. We might see more Reggie Bonnafon. We might see more Jordan Scarlett. But also in the receiving game, sometimes it's Greg Olsen getting 100 yards. Sometimes it's Curtis Samuel getting a bunch of yards. This week, we saw DJ Moore with 6 catches, 91 yards off of 8 targets. We didn't see Greg Olsen get a single catch, only targeted twice. So we're obviously seeing that we're mixing things up, changing things around, adjusting, not allowing defensive coordinators and defenses to only get one look. You have to guard and defend everybody and everything. And before I let y'all go, I want to mention a couple other things. Luke Kuechly got his 1,000th tackle in this game. A huge milestone for him. Luke Kuechly is obviously the best linebacker in the game. Are there any questions? No? Good. Let me continue. This was a very, very, very clutch win for the Panthers. This is a win that I think kind of makes this team hard to ignore in the media. This is a game right here where a lot of people were on Gardner Minshew, so people were watching this game. There are a lot of really good games on this week. A lot of actually very high-scoring games on in this time slot. But a lot of people were finally catching on to Gardner Minshew and Minshew Mania and the booty shorts and the mustache and the headband and the Napoleon Dynamite Uncle Rico stuff. So they said, let me watch this game and see what Gardner Minshew can do. They got a really good taste of what the Panthers can do as well. You might see us have a few expectations moving forward, and that's cool with me. Give me the expectations. This team right here can meet them, and that's a Fendi fact. But for right now, that's all I got for you, man. What are your thoughts? What are things that I missed? Most exciting moments of the game? The most impressive stats? What were you excited about watching this game, man? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.